Welcome back to Oxford 4000 Essential English Words, episode 37. I'm your host, Emma.
And I'm Frank, your learning partner on this journey. It feels like it's been ages, even though it was just last week. How have you been?
I've been great, Frank. Just been catching up on some reading. It's amazing how a good book can just transport you. How about you?
Oh, the usual. Trying to keep my plants alive. It's a daily battle of wits between me and a very stubborn succulent. So, what linguistic delights are on the menu for today? I'm ready for our listeners and I to get our weekly dose of vocabulary.
I'm glad you asked. Today we've got a fantastic list. We'll be covering military, news, moderate, seed, develop, interpret, contribute, stop, and affection.
Wow, that's quite a mix. We're going from military and news all the way to affection and seeds. Sounds like we're going to be covering a lot of ground.
We certainly are. It's a list that touches on everything from global affairs to personal feelings.
Before we dive into that fascinating mix, let me just quickly remind all our amazing listeners out there, if you're enjoying the show and want to help us create more polished episodes, please don't forget to save this episode, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and most importantly, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.
Excellent reminder, Frank. Your support truly means the world to us. Now, shall we start with our first word?
Let's do it. Hit me with the first one.
All right, first up is military. It's an adjective related to soldiers or armed forces. In Chinese, we'd say 军事的. It can also be a noun, referring to a country's armed forces themselves.
Military. So I could say military service or military uniform?
Exactly. Those are perfect examples of common collocations. You could talk about military strategy, military intervention, or military equipment. For instance, the country increased its military spending this year.
Got it. What about as a noun? Could I say he joined the military after finishing school?
That's a perfect use of the noun form. Another example would be the military was called in to help with the natural disaster relief efforts. It refers to the entire organization of the armed forces.
Makes sense. It's a word we often see in the news. Speaking of which,
What a perfect transition, Frank! Our next word is news. News is new information about recent events. In Chinese, that's simply 新闻.
I think I know this one. Like I watch the evening news on TV. But is it always plural? It has M at the end.
That's a great question. News is actually an uncountable noun, even though it ends in S. So we say, the news is not the news are. For example, the news is on at 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's a classic mistake for learners. So I can't say a news?
Precisely. You'd say a piece of news or an item of news. For instance, I have a fascinating piece of news for you. You could also hear someone say, what's the latest news?
Okay, a piece of news. I'll remember that. So that's good news is correct because news is treated as a singular concept.
You've got it. Now let's move on to a word about obligation. The word is owe. It means to have an obligation to pay or repay something, often money, in return for something received. The core meaning in Chinese is tian.
So like I owe you $10?
Exactly. That's the most common usage. But it's not just about money. You can also owe someone a favor, an apology, or gratitude. For example, I owe my parents a lot for their support.
That's a much deeper meaning. So I could say, we owe our success to the team's hard work. It's about attributing success to someone.
A beautiful example, Frank. It shows that you understand the abstract sense of the word. You might also say, you owe me an explanation for why you were so late.
I hope I don't hear that from you anytime soon. Okay, moving on before I get into trouble. What's next?
Next, we have moderate. As an adjective, it means average in amount, intensity, or degree. Not too much, not too little. In Chinese, it's 温和的 or 适度的.
So, like a moderate amount of exercise? Something that's reasonable.
Perfect. You could also talk about a moderate success or a person with moderate political views. For example, the hotel was of a moderate price, not too expensive.
Can it be a verb, like to moderate something?
Yes, it can. To moderate means to make or become less extreme or intense. For example, he needs to moderate his drinking. Or in a debate, she was chosen to moderate the discussion.
A moderator at a debate. I see the connection. They keep things from getting too extreme. The wind has moderated, maybe.
Exactly. That means the wind has become less strong. Excellent. Our next word is quite small but very powerful seed. A seed is a small object produced by a plant from which a new plant can grow. In Chinese, this is 种子.
Simple enough. I bought some flower seeds for the garden. But I feel like there's a more metaphorical meaning here, right?
You're absolutely right. Seed can also refer to the beginning or source of something. We often talk about the seeds of doubt, the seeds of rebellion, or the seeds of an idea.
Oh, I like that. So I could say, the journalist planted the seed of a story in her editor's mind.
That's a very creative and accurate sentence. Or that early failure sowed the seeds of his future success. It implies a starting point that grows into something much bigger.
It's a great metaphor. It helps you visualize an idea growing just like a plant.
It does. And speaking of growing, our next word is develop. To develop means to grow or cause to grow and become more mature, advanced, or elaborate. In Chinese, 发展 or 开发.
This seems like a very broad word. A child can develop, a company can develop, a country can develop.
Correct. It has a very wide range of applications. You can say the village developed into a town. You can also develop skills, like she is working to develop her public speaking skills.
What about developing a product? Like our team is developing a new app.
Yes, that's another key usage. It means to create a new product or idea over a period of time. You can also develop a film from a camera, though that's becoming a bit old fashioned now. And you can develop a problem, like he developed a fever overnight.
Wow, from skills to sickness, it really is a versatile word.
It is. Now, how about a word for understanding things? Our next word is interpret. It means to explain the meaning of information, words, or actions. The Chinese equivalent would be 解释 or 口译.
So if I don't understand something, I could ask, how should I interpret this message?
That's a perfect use of it. You can interpret data, a dream, a poem, or someone's silence. For example, it's difficult to interpret these statistics without more context.
And it's also related to translation, right? An interpreter is someone who translates speech.
Exactly. To interpret for someone is to translate what they are saying into another language. She had to interpret for her grandparents when they visited from the old country.
So the word is all about finding and explaining meaning. I interpreted his smile as a sign of approval.
That's a great, subtle example. Now, for a word about giving, contribute. It means to give something, especially money, in order to help achieve or provide something. In Chinese, we say 贡献 or 捐助.
So, like, contribute to charity?
Yes, that's a very common one. She contributed $100 to the fund. But like, oh, it's not just about money. You can also contribute ideas, time, or effort.
So I could say, every member of the team contributed to the project's success.
A perfect example. It can also be used to mean be a factor in. For instance, heavy rain contributed to the traffic jam. This is a key usage. It means it was one of the causes.
Ah, so it doesn't have to be a person doing the contributing. A thing or an event can contribute to a result. That's very useful to know.
It is. Okay, just two words left. The next one is stop. I'm sure our listeners know this one, but it has some nuances. The basic meaning is to finish an action or no longer move. In Chinese, 停止.
Please stop making that noise. I say that to my neighbor's dog sometimes. Through the wall, of course.
I'm sure the dog appreciates it. We use stop in many ways. You can stop the car, stop working, or stop raining. But the grammatical structure is important. We can say stop doing something, which means to end an action, like your example.
What about stop to do something? I think I've heard that.
Excellent question. That's the key difference. Stop to do something means you pause one action in order to begin another. For example, he was walking home and he stopped to buy a coffee. He stopped walking in order to buy coffee.
Oh, that's a huge difference in meaning. So, I stopped smoking means I quit, but I stopped to smoke means I paused what I was doing so I could have a cigarette.
You have nailed it. Understanding that difference is crucial. And before we stop for our scenario, let's do our last word affection. Affection is a gentle feeling of fondness or liking. The Chinese for this is 喜爱 or 感情.
It's a warm and fuzzy word, like the feeling you have for a friend or a pet.
Exactly. It's not as strong or passionate as love, it's a warm, gentle fondness. You can show affection or feel affection for someone. For example, he never showed much affection for his children.
That's a bit sad. A happier example might be, she held her grandfather's hand with great affection.
That's a lovely sentence. It perfectly captures the feeling. You can also have affection for a place. I have a deep affection for my hometown.
10 words down. Military, news, moderate, seed, develop, interpret, contribute, and stop. Affection. Listeners, we hope you're keeping up. Don't forget to save this episode's word list, and if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get ready for our next 10 words.
And now, let's see if we can put them all together. Frank, are you ready for our scenario dialogue?
Born ready, Emma. Let's do this.
Okay, the scene is two friends discussing an article they just read. I'll start. Did you see the news about that retired military officer?
I did. The one who started a community garden? He said that after years of service, he felt he still had something to contribute.
It's a project of moderate scale, but the impact is huge. He hands out free vegetable seed packets to all the local kids.
I love that. You can just feel the affection he has for his community. I interpret it as his way of planting hope.
Absolutely. I think we all owe a debt of gratitude to people like him. It's wonderful to see an idea like that develop so beautifully.
I agree. We should stop by this weekend and see if we can help out.
And scene. We did it. We used all 10 words.
I thought that was pretty smooth. Using O for gratitude and interpret for his actions felt very natural. And contribute worked perfectly.
I agree. It shows how these words can be woven into a normal, everyday conversation. All right, let's switch gears. It's time to test our listeners. Frank, lead us into the Chinese to English practice.
With pleasure. Okay, everyone, here's your challenge. I'm going to say a sentence in Chinese. Your job is to translate it into English using the words we learned today. Ready? Here's the first sentence. 我们不应该把他的沉默解读为不感兴趣。他只是性格比较温和。I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time's up. What are our sample answers, Frank?
Okay, one good answer would be, we shouldn't interpret his silence as a lack of interest, he just has a moderate personality.
That's a great one. It uses interpret and moderate perfectly. Another option could be, we shouldn't interpret his silence as disinterest. He's just a rather moderate person. Both work well. The key is using interpret for Jiedu and moderate for Wenhe.
Exactly. Ready for number 2? Here it is. 这条新闻说，每一个公民都应该为国家的发展做出贡献，停止抱怨。A little more complex. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, that one has a few of our words. A good translation would be, this piece of news says that every citizen should contribute to the country's development and stop complaining.
I like that. It cleanly uses news, contribute, develop, and stop. You could also say, according to the news, every citizen owes it to their country to contribute to its development and stop complaining. Adding owes it to adds a nice touch of duty.
An excellent addition. It really strengthens the sense of obligation. Okay, time for the final challenge.
Here we go. This one uses the rest of our words. 那位退役的军事人员对他充满深情的宠物狗说：“我欠你一条命。” 5 seconds on the clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's a touching one. How about this? The retired military personnel said to his beloved dog with great affection, I owe you my life.
Perfect. That captures the emotion beautifully. It uses military, affection, and O. The word personnel is a good synonym for an officer or member. You could also be more direct and say, the retired military man told his dog, for which he felt deep affection, I owe you my life.
Both versions get the meaning and the feeling across perfectly. Great job, listeners. We hope that practice was helpful.
That was a fantastic session, Emma. We've gone from military strategy to the seeds of an idea and all the way to affection for a pet.
We certainly have. And we hope our listeners are excited for what's coming next. In our next episode, we'll be tackling another great list: improve, indispensable, ensure, uncommon, fit, half, harmless, Germany, occurrence, and cooking.
Ooh, cooking. That's one I can definitely get behind. And Germany. Maybe we'll get to talk about some delicious German food.
We'll have to see. Before we sign off, one last reminder to please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. It's the best way to support the show and help us keep growing.
It really is. Thank you all for tuning in, for learning with us, and for being the best part of this podcast.
It was a pleasure as always, Frank. Until next time, everyone, keep practicing.
Goodbye for now.